Are you making money doing garden work? I want to show you exactly what I did to start my garden division and where I'm at now. The way I started was I hired somebody to answer phones so they can push all the work to me so I could mow and fix sprinklers. That was what I initially was doing at the very beginning when I was really busy every day. But when the office manager said to me that she'd like to get out of the office and if she could upsell shrub pruning work. And I said, absolutely, but you're the one in charge of that. I don't want to deal with any shrub pruning jobs and I don't want to deal with the customers for that. And she said she's got a handle on it and she'll do it all. So I said, great. So it started working out really well. She was upselling a lot, so she was starting to get out of the office more, which was fine at the time because I was busy and sometimes I didn't even want any more new customers, so I was okay that she was out of the office doing more work. But then she ended up needing an assistant, so that's when we found Rachel. So Stacia and Rachel were both the garden division basically, and they were doing all the work and everything was going really great. But then at one point I told Rachel, I said, hey Rachel, if you want to raise, we're going to need to hire somebody and you have to delegate the work to them. And she took that on. And this is the guy we chose, Fernando. Total badass guy. At first didn't know what he was doing, but Rachel, you would say, me and Rachel trained you at first, and he ran with the information we gave him, and he got better and better after all these years. He's been with us now 3 years, and he's done hundreds of jobs, maybe?
Hundreds, maybe thousands.
Yeah, maybe thousands of jobs for sure.
In 3 years, for sure, thousands.
Everything from cleanups to rip and replacing yards. We taught him the basics at the beginning, cleanup, what's a weed kind of thing, but he's taken all that other information. So the rip and replace mainly is from him just doing things at small scale. Next thing you know, another job's bigger until now he can pretty much do everything. And with the help of Rachel and the garden managers giving him direction, I mean, we're unstoppable, so appreciate you. Over the years, we've added some more responsibility to Fernando's duties as the crew leader. One of the things that we've recently done is we started assigning all the work to Fernando, and it's his job to delegate that work to the 3 crews that we have. So sometimes he splits them up into 3 crews and he assigns the jobs to them all, or they all go together depending on the size of the job and just work it together. So it's his responsibility to make sure that all the crews are busy. So in the morning, just to reiterate, we assign all the work to Fernando, and he looks at all the jobs, reads all the notes, and then he decides who should go where. He also helps one of the crews, so he's one of the crews, but he's also on top of delegating the other 2. As Fernando was developing his skills as a landscaper, garden maintenance guy, Rachel was now focused on the details of training, and she was building a much deeper relationship with customers, and she was also able to do like 5 or 6 estimates a day. She built the garden division up so much that it was actually making more in revenue than the mowing. Now that the garden division was a force for our company, we came up with systems, and one of those systems was, the process of having an estimator there all the time. And that's when we were in search of someone and we found Bronte. Super educated, knows all her plants, flowers, same as Rachel, but Bronte was able to work full time out in the field while Rachel was taking more of a role in the office, dealing with all the customers, because not only was the garden division growing at the time, but so was the mowing and fertilizing. So it really helped to have somebody knowledgeable in the office as well. So I'm going to have you follow Bronte to do an estimate.
Okay, so I'm Bronte, I'm the garden manager, and I'm here at a customer's house. I'm going to do a quote. I let her know we were coming. She just wanted a total yard cleanup for the spring, and she wants some things planted. So I'm going to go talk to her, walk around with her, see what she wants, and then kind of get an idea for how long it's going to take so I can get her a quote for the cleanup. I noticed that some of the boxwoods were dead, so I counted up how many of those needed to be replaced. Noticed the butterfly bushes needed to be trimmed, which she didn't know about, so I suggested that. And then I measured for topsoil to get replaced because they had the fence post put in and there was a bunch of soil missing after they did that. And then just kind of took account of how long it's going to take for them to cut back all the perennials and grasses. That way I can get an accurate idea of how much to charge for the job, and then I will leave a note for the gardeners for when they come, detailed notes of what to do, as long as, hey, this should take about 8 hours or something like that.
Our garden division has grown to the point where we're hiring more garden managers, and this is our newest garden manager, Daisha.
Hello.
And she'll be doing what Bronte's doing. Now, when we hire for this position, we don't just hire anybody. They have to have a degree or some kind of education in a horticulture field, landscape design, plant science, that kind of thing. Because you can't BS a customer when it comes to their plant beds, because they're going to entrust you to take care of them and pick new plant material. So they have to know what they're doing. So one part of having a successful garden division is the people. The other half is having the right trucks and equipment. So right now I want to show you some of the setups I have. This bed I bought separately from the truck. So I bought this truck from somebody else. I took the regular bed off and I bought this off somebody, and it was originally going to be for mowing. But Fernando used this one day and he said to me that this is the truck he wants to use for garden cleanups and maintenance all the time. So it actually, when you think about it, does really well, because a lot of times he'll do a cleanup on a yard in a garden bed, but the yard will get, debris on it. So this is really cool because you can put the ramp down and bring the mowers up and down, aeration, sod cutters, all those things, and it's really easy to bring up. So that's one of the reasons why he loves this truck. I even offered to get him better trucks because he just does so much work, and he refuses. He wants to use this truck till it dies. One of the reasons why he likes this truck so much is that we've made this cubby for him. It used to be a lift gate, but I cut it, and then I used half of it as a solid piece that can't move. That way nothing falls off, and it's worked great. This is where you can put hedge trimmers, even the longer pole pruner, anything they need, tarps, and it's really nice to have a spot that's out of the way so you can still fill the bed up and still have everything put away. Also has the racks for rakes, hose, all the different things, and the trimmer racks on it. One thing that he's complained to me about, and I never actually got into it, is to take these metal welding pieces off. Because when he has bark material or soil, it's kind of hard to scoop it up, as you can imagine. So that's one of the things that he's complained about, but other than that, he loves this truck. And another feature that we've added to this setup is the trailer. It's never gone on any other vehicle. It's just kind of part of this truck, but he can take it off and unhitch it whenever he wants, and he'll do that every now and then. But this is kind of like one whole setup, and this setup right here has literally, probably over the years, brought us in over $1 million. We actually love this setup so much that one of the pink mow trucks that's set up for mowing at the shop, we converted it to be as close as we can to this truck because we just love it so much. Here's one of the mow trucks that I converted into a garden maintenance vehicle, and I say maintenance because I wanted this to be a minimalist truck that's just going to go and maintain the gardens. This isn't a truck meant to do initial big cleanups. It's made, I wanted to set this up so that they can go to a property every single week, every 2 weeks, or once a month and maintain the same gardens. And I wanted to just keep it as simple as possible. There are a couple of things I want to do still. I want to put some more pipe fittings for the rakes and things like that. Now here's the pipe setup that I keep talking about. I need to make this and weld it on all the garden truck beds because it's so nice to throw the rakes, shovels, you name it, on here out of the way and keep it all organized. I do need to make that basket bigger, so the guy that fabricated that for me just didn't understand what I wanted. He says he's willing to make it bigger for me, so I've got to take this to him soon. But we want to make that basket bigger just so we can put away tarps, trimmers, the pole pruners that should all be able to fit up there out of the way so we can use the entire bed for debris. Another reason I chose this truck for maintenance is that only 2 people can fit in it. I guess we could squeeze in 3, and my guys do that from time to time, but I didn't want something that 4 guys can get into just to do garden maintenance on a weekly, every 2 weeks, or once a month basis. On this F-250 flatbed, we use this when we're installing sod. It's really easy to carry up here, or sometimes if we have, you know, inch to half-inch rock material, this is the truck we'll use. It's also important to try to use vehicles all year round, and we can put a plow on this one. The newest addition to our garden division is this awesome dump trailer. Now that we have one, we're kicking ourselves wondering why we didn't get one years ago. The reason why I chose this dump trailer is that the battery is constantly being charged by a solar panel. Super awesome. I never have to plug it in. It's always ready to go. Now this truck was actually designed for garden maintenance. They ripped the bed out, fabricated a brand new one. On this side is where all the tools are kept, fuel, and on this side is where you throw all the debris. Real easy access to throw debris, and when you're ready to unload it, super easy. Another feature I love about this truck is that it's got an extended cab, so you can fit 4 and sometimes up to 5 guys. They can all go in this truck. One feature I don't like about this truck is that it doesn't have a ramp, so if we had to take a mower or an aerator, power raker, sod cutter, you name it, we'd have to lift it, and that's not fun. This is one of the newer trucks that I inherited. I'm not in love with it. I'm actually got it on sale at a couple of websites, and some of my friends are telling me that I don't know what I have, so why don't I try it out first? So the season just started. We're 2 weeks in. I'm gonna ask my workers what they think of it so far, because if they like it and it's actually efficient and helpful, we'll keep it. After talking to the guys, one of the biggest concerns or things that they'd like to see done better on this setup is a better ladder system all the way up. I mentioned a ramp, so I don't know if that's something that would be easier to do. Just set up a ramp from here to there, or put another step system that just has more steps to it. Because just the one, he said if he's got something heavy to bring up there, it's not that easy. I never thought in a million years that I'd have the garden division that I have today, but in order to make sure my customers are taken care of, this was the actual natural way to go. So let me know in the comments what you think. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.